Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Francine, how are you? Hello. Hey, Cynthia, I'm going to try and bring you on. Yes. If that worked, just click accept. It should. All right. Hey, Zaquetta, come on in.
How are
Hey,
you?
there you are.
Hey, yes.
You look
Does
good.
this sound okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Just fine.
Awesome. All right. So we've been talking about this and talking about this for a long time. We have probably been planning the Red Ink Conference Chicago since last September. I feel
Yes,
like I
yes.
feel like it's been a long time. Hey Felicia, thanks for jumping on. Um, and we are almost here. It is July 10th. The Red Ink Conference Chicago is Saturday, August 17th. For those of you who don't know, I host this conference annually twice a year in two different cities. So it started out in Detroit for the first 4 years, and then last year we did Detroit and Atlanta. This year we're doing Chicago and Charlotte. And the great Cynthia L. Hatcher is one of our phenomenal speakers for Chicago. Hey, Richard. And so I wanted to bring her on camera and talk a bit about um, the pitfalls, a lot of the things that keep us from moving forward in our book projects. I hear a lot of excuses in the marketplace, Cynthia, like a lot of excuses, more than I care to know. All right, more than I care to know. And we literally, hey, Cynthia Daniel Metz, and Darlis. Hey, Darlis, thanks for tuning in. Tyrus, thanks for tuning in. So, Cynthia, I just want you to introduce to the people who don't know you, introduce who you are, how you got started, what you do, and why you do it well.
Wow. Okay. My name is Cynthia Hatcher. I've been around for a little while now, almost 15 years. I am
Yes,
known as the literary midwife.
yes, birthing books,
Uh, yes, I've birthed in my books, birthed
baby
in other
books.
people's books.
Yes,
This is just my passion. I love it. When they said when you find the thing that you would do for free, even
yeah.
though I don't do it for free, but
No,
the
we
thing
don't
that
do
you
it
would
for
do for
free.
free,
Right, make it clear.
that's your thing. That's your thing. So this is my thing. I absolutely love it. I love writers. I love writing. I love words. I just love it.
Okay, okay. So, are you publisher, author? How many books do you have?
Wow. Okay. I am a publisher. I've published over 1,000 people
Wow,
nationwide,
wow.
and I am working on book number 27 for myself.
All right, 27, book number 27, y'all. So she ain't no rookie. She been in the game a minute. Some of you don't have one book. I only have 10, so that makes me seem real small right about now.
No, no.
um, but
You're
she's
doing
got
great.
27 books. And tell the people now, what's your goal by the age of what age you want how many books?
I would like to have, my goal is to have 60 books by the time I reach the tender age of 65.
Okay, so 60 books by 65. I won't ask you how old you are. It's none of our business. But we'll just say you are well on your way to 60 books by
Yes,
65. All right.
absolutely.
I'm so glad to
Absolutely.
hear. So we will be having you at the Red Ink Conference for the very first time. Now listen, you have been an
Yeah.
attend now you've been both an attendee at the Red Ink Conference, but you've also been a vendor. Tell the people about the time you were a vendor.
The time I was a vendor was absolutely phenomenal. People are hyped
Yeah,
at the Red Ink Conference.
yeah,
It is just a wonderful place to be. It's the place you want to be in the room.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't really believe that it's like a book writing conference. Now I'm gonna tell you, I've given conferences.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But that Red Ink conference is fire. I absolutely love the energy in the room.
Oh, good. Glad to hear. So we are
Mhm.
considering even changing the name. My husband is saying you should just change it to the Red Ink Experience because it's a whole experience.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
from
that's
the time,
good. That's
yeah, from the
good.
time you walk in the door to the time you leave, it's an experience, and we
Yes,
we
it
make
is an
sure,
experience.
yeah, so we make sure that it's interactive, that people are up on their feet, that they are hyped, that they are not falling asleep. We have a lot of great information, but we also keep people active. So you were a vendor for AWAOA. Tell the people about AWAOA.
AWAOA is a national association of writers. It's
Yeah.
Aspiring Writers Association of America.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 chapters right now, one in Flint, Michigan, one in Metro Detroit, one in Selma, Alabama, and
Selma,
one in
Alabama.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, in
Yes. And
Nashville.
we're
Yeah.
looking forward to starting one soon by the fall in Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Texas on the map. So 4 or 5 chapters in this Writers Association, and you were a vendor at the
Yes.
Red Ink Conference. What was that? Detroit, when we were in Southfield, I believe you were a
We
vendor
were
there.
we were
So
in Southfield, and first of all, there was such a camaraderie among the vendors. I mean, we
mm-hmm.
visited each other's table. It was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And then the attendees, they visited everybody's table. It was wonderful. It was
Absolutely.
absolutely
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Well, we make them. We make them like get out and go look at somebody's table.
Yes, yes,
All right.
it was wonderful.
All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to, we've got a few people jumping in. Nietzsche. Nietzsche's been to Reading before. Um, a poet is on. I don't want to mispronounce the first name. Welcome. And then Joan Ware. Welcome. So Cynthia, I want you to start with the number one. Let's do the countdown backwards. Let's start with the number 3 reason you think people today just don't get their book done, and we'll do number 1 last.
Okay,
So
number
number
3.
3. Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I believe, is money. I
Really?
believe, yes, I believe money is
Is
number
number
3.
3? Okay.
It's number 3.
Tell me
Yes,
about it.
you would think it's number 1, but
Tell me about
no,
it.
that is number 3.
Okay.
People are afraid to move forward with publishing because one of 2 reasons. They either think they can't afford to publish,
Mm-hmm.
or they're afraid once they publish, will they get their money back and make a profit?
Okay. So that's fair. So you're saying people, they know what it costs to invest in publishing. They just
Yes.
they don't have it, or they don't want to spend it for fear of I may not get it back. Which one?
They don't want to spend it.
They don't want to spend it.
Okay.
Okay.
They
Okay.
don't want to spend it.
Okay.
It's a big thing to invest in yourself.
Okay.
It's a risk
Yeah.
to invest and trust in what you're investing in,
Absolutely.
which is yourself.
Absolutely.
That's a big risk to take.
Yes.
Number 1, because we are quick to invest in others.
Yes.
Before we invest in ourselves.
But
So
why
I'll
is
buy
that?
your book and your book and your book and your book, but I won't invest in my own book.
Yeah, but why is that? Because I think it would be the other way around. I think that I would be all about investing in my stuff and not in investing in others' books or projects.
Well, that goes to another number.
Yeah.
Lack of self-confidence.
Okay. Okay.
Lack of self-confidence, because in order to invest in your book, you have to believe in what you've written.
Right.
You have to believe in yourself.
Right.
You have to trust what you've written is a quality product.
That's
and
right.
sometimes we're just afraid.
That's
We're just afraid. We're afraid of how others are going to look at us, just all of that.
Right.
We don't believe in ourselves.
So fear of spending money and not getting it back is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
not just spending it, but they scared they're not going to get it back either.
They scared they're not going to get it back, because what if people don't buy their books? Right?
But what if they do? But what if they do?
That's right. That's the other side of it.
Yeah, because the other side is people can't buy the book that's never been written. you know.
Well,
So,
that's the truth.
so if you don't write the book, how can they buy it?
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the truth. So yeah, they have to be willing to get it out of their heads, get it off of their computer,
Yes.
and hand it over to a publisher if they're not going to publish it themselves. But if
Right.
they do that, please know what you're doing.
Uh-oh.
Publish it them,
Uh-oh.
publish it themselves, get it published, and get it out there.
All right.
That's they're scared of that money
They're
situation.
scared of the money. We're going to talk about the money at the Red Ink. All right, let me shout out these few people that jumped on. I saw my husband, Jermaine Johnson, AWAOA VIP. Him and Richard are on. I saw Crystal Langston. Welcome, Crystal. Nikki, welcome. Welcome, Angie Green. Angie Green is a vendor in Chicago, so you guys will definitely see her. She has a phenomenal book. Yep. And Teresa Rainier, welcome. So number 2. All right. So number 3 was money. Tell me the number 2 reason why people don't get their book out in the earth.
Number 2, we think about what other people are thinking about. We think about what other people. What are people gonna say about my book? Are they gonna think it's stupid? Sometimes we don't want to appear big in front of other people. We want to play ourselves small.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm always screaming big doors, so I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah. But this is some of the reasons why people won't.
Wow.
You know, that mentality of who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? What's that little book you're writing?
Yeah.
You know, what's that little thing you're doing?
Right.
So sometimes people are afraid of what other people think.
Oh, so I'm glad you said that, because like you said, when someone calls your book little, or they call, not because it's little in stature, but just because, oh, I heard you wrote a little book. And I heard you were working on a little something, and I heard you were having a little program, and you were having a little conference. Yes. People are, they're trying to shade you a little bit, but it's,
that's a big bit, but yeah.
and I don't think they know what they're doing. I think if the book is short, let's say the book is 50 pages, 60 pages, you finished it. You've done more than most. The average person talks about writing a book and they never finish it. So you've done more than the average person. But even still, they'll call it small. So how do you combat somebody calling your book little and small?
Well, one of the things you have to do is understand and about what you've done. Writing a book takes a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of courage to do that, and you have to put these barriers up. What I say, around yourself. You teach people how to treat you every day.
That's right.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody says, I heard you were working. How's that little writing you're doing? How's
that little book you're working on?
How's that little book you were talking about?
Yeah.
Say, no, what I'm doing may be small in your eyes, but it's not small in mine.
No, it's not small in my eyes.
And it's going well. Thanks for asking.
Wow. Yeah. So, so the other part of that is, how do we, because honestly, I've heard authors themselves call their project small. So they can be sitting at the Red Ink Conference and they'll say, I'm working on a book. It's just a small 30-day devotional. And that's what they'll say. Those are the exact words that will come out of their mouths.
Okay.
And so as the speakers, we have to stop them. Even when they say that, before they even finish their sentence, we stop them and we say, stop. Don't call anything little. Don't call anything small. Because you limit the size of that project based on your words. If life and death is in the power of the tongue, and this is not a Christian conference, but the word still stands. You calling it small means it'll be small. It won't go anywhere. It won't grow. It'll be small.
Correct.
Because you call it just, or when people say it's just a 30-day devotional, the word just to me also minimizes what someone is doing.
That's true.
Because they'll be like, oh, you just wrote one book, not 27. You just have one book, you know? So it's the word just is another replacement for small. So how do we as authors stop calling our own work small and saying, I just wrote a 30-day devotional. I just wrote a 10-day devotional. Maybe you don't write 30 days. Maybe it's 10 days. But how do we get to a place where we stop calling it small and minute?
I'm going to use two thoughts here. I just had one baby. Well, were you in labor 24 hours? Were you in labor 48 hours?
And one
you
is enough.
Just have one baby.
Right. Right.
You had a baby.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's on those same lines. We don't sit down and write a book in 2 hours. We're not writing 100 pages in 2 hours.
No,
there's hours pages. And time and energy and thoughts that go into our work. So we didn't just do anything.
Right.
We extended a lot of ourselves into it.
Yeah.
So we just really have to look at what we're doing and not take it for granted, not take it small, not downplay our own selves.
But is it haughty? Is it arrogant to say, I'm working on a big project and I'm excited about this project and I'm going to be so happy when, like for me, when Marriage Uncut 2 comes out, this is a big project.
There you go.
For me. Yeah. Did that sound arrogant? Because I said it's a big project versus just I'm launching another book. You know, so
every book I write is a big book.
Is a big book.
Every book. It's number 27.
Every book.
I'm not at 30 yet, but this is a big project I'm working on. Yes, and my next series is a big series that I'm working on.
Right.
So no, do I think it's arrogant? Absolutely not. Absolutely, absolutely not. The old folks used to say it's a po dog that won't wag its own tail.
Wow, and that means translate because I'm only 39. What that mean?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like what old folks and how old? Translate.
I'm sorry, I'm a little older than you. That means it's okay to talk about what you're doing. Okay. It's okay. But see, that's why it's important to be AWAOA, right? That's why it's important to be in a supportive community with other writers, with other people who are doing what you do so you can get that same support. If you're sitting around talking to people who the most that they're doing today is watching their okay, I ain't being funny. Have and have nots. That's the biggest thing.
That's some people's show. They about to be mad at you.
Well, I'm not knocking the show.
The have and have nots is hot right now.
They're doing. The most they're doing is watching somebody else's dream.
Okay.
Instead of producing their own dream.
That's
fair. Then they may not speak as well about what you're doing. So it's important. It's important to be around people who are going in the same direction you're going, that will support your work.
Okay, so being around other writers, other authors, surround yourself in a circle, it definitely does help. It definitely, for accountability, if nothing else. Accountability, if nothing else.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to say hello to Brenda Cox, hello to Danelle Martin, and hello to Chanel Lee. Hello to, you know who that is. Hello to, he just got to be on camera.
Hi,
hello to Rose Carter. My friend Maya is on in Missouri. She's watching. So let's recap. The number three reason that a person's book is not done is because of money, which I thought would be number one, but don't tell me number one yet. Number two is what other people will think. What other people will think. Now, something else I want to touch on a little bit right there, and we'll probably talk about this at the conference, but when you're writing a book about yourself and you're writing a story about you, your family, things that you have been through, to what extent should you care about mom and them, daddy and them not speaking to you no more after this book comes out?
Okay. Let me just tell my story for a minute. Let me just tell my story.
Yeah.
When I wrote my first book called The Abuser's Daughter, where my dad slept with my mom's sisters and he abused children and just the whole story. I just told my perspective of finding out when I was 5 years old and what my life entailed because of it. Word got out to my family, absolutely, because I did not consult them about writing my story.
Wow.
A little fear was there. And so the word got out. Somebody in my family came back and they sent word through somebody else that I didn't need to tell that story, that it wasn't anybody's business.
Wow.
And I sent word back through that family member to that person to tell them if they weren't in my father's bed and I didn't see it, I wouldn't have a story to tell.
Wow.
I was telling my story. My family, some of my family members didn't speak to me for 5 years.
Because of the book.
Because of the book. Okay. Because I told my story. I told my truth.
Okay.
I didn't tell their story. I told my story. And that's not how it is anymore. Some have passed on and we have wonderful relationships now, but make sure you tell your story. Do not tell your family member's story. Tell your story. And you have every right to tell your story, how things affected you.
That's almost a thin line, though, because when it comes to serious things like divorce or molestation or rape, when you tell that story, you also tell the business of someone else that was most times the perpetrator.
Well, you're not telling their business. You're telling what they did to you.
Exactly.
So it's not their business.
Exactly.
It's your business.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
That you're telling.
All right. So
does that make sense?
It makes sense to me, but we're gonna talk about it more at the Red Ink because you know it comes
up.
It comes up at every conference, and I stopped you there because I think sometimes more than money, people are afraid of what other people will think when they begin to write their truth. So whatever your truth is, you know, if you were molested, okay, write about it. But I'm scared, you know, my mama gonna be mad at me. My uncle gonna be mad at me. It was a family member. Most times it is a family member.
I wouldn't have a story if the family member didn't molest me.
Well, true.
I wouldn't have a story. I wouldn't be writing about you. You wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, that's true. So, last one, and then we're going to get off of this one. Do you suggest that people change the names to protect the guilty? Not the innocent, the guilty.
I changed everybody's name. Absolutely.
You did?
Protect everybody.
Yes,
I did that. Under the, I talked to my attorney first because that was very important. Okay. Because people, when you write a book, people think you're rich. Automatically, you're rich and you have all this money, right?
I got 10. I ain't rich.
Yes. And so people can be sue happy. So I made sure that no one could take me to court. One family member wanted to take me to court. She threatened she was going to take me to court.
Wow.
And my godmother told her that she would have to admit that was her in the book then.
In order for her to sue you, she has to admit.
Yes, she would have to admit to everything that she did then.
Well, because you had also changed names, correct?
I changed names. I changed locations. I changed if somebody was fat, I made them thin. You know.
Okay. So yours was almost written from a fictional standpoint, like based on a true story, because you changed a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're at 7:24. I promise I didn't want to hold you longer than 30 minutes. Tell us the number one reason why people do not get their book out in the earth. And I thought it was money, y'all. She said it ain't money, so I don't know. All right, here we go.
The number one reason is people lack self-confidence.
Wow.
They don't believe in themselves.
Wow.
They don't believe in themselves.
Number one.
Pardon me?
That's number one.
Number one.
Okay.
That's number one. They don't believe in themselves. They'll use the excuse of, I don't know how to write a book. Now, we can Google just about anything, right?
Right. Google. How do I write a book?
Really, that's an excuse. That's fear. That's fear talking when they say they don't know how. Okay. Or I don't know how to spell well. They'll use spelling as a reason why they won't write a book. Well, that's why you hire an editor.
Yeah, that's what the editor is for. Yeah.
That's what the editor is for. The editor will help you with that. So really, the number one reason is self-confidence. They just don't believe that what they can put in the earth will make a difference in anybody's life or that it'll be good enough.
So tell me this really quickly. you and I both, we serve authors, aspiring authors, entrepreneurs, writers, bloggers, publishers all across the world. How do we realistically increase the self-confidence? Because the key word is self. So how do we from the outside help improve the self-confidence of every author that we touch that comes to us and they may have that doubt?
Well, we start small. One of the things that I do is get them to talking about what they've already done in the earth and done well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You have to remind yourself of how difficult it was, even if we go all the way back, how difficult it was to learn how to tie your shoe, but you learn how to tie it.
Right.
How hard it was for you to learn how to ride a bike or do your hair or whatever it is. And we start small, building self-confidence.
Yeah.
Also, what I do as a book writing coach is I'll look over their work and consult with them, right?
Okay.
Consult with them and let them know what I really think. And you build people up. Absolutely you do, because you tell them what's good about their work, not just what's wrong.
Right.
But once again, that's why it's important to be in a community of writers where you'll be around people who may be feeling just like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it helps with your self-confidence.
Right. And you always talk about the sandwich. And so we'll talk a little bit more about the sandwich at the conference, but basically is give them some good, give them the criticism in the middle. And then some good on the back end.
That's right.
Some good on the back end. So yeah. So recap for us really quickly, Cynthia, the top 3 reasons why people have not gotten their book out in the earth yet.
Number 3 is money. They're afraid to invest in themselves, or they're afraid that they will not recoup their money once they invest it.
Yes.
Number 2 is afraid of what other people are thinking. Whatever that thought is, just afraid of what other people are thinking or may think. And number 1 is self-confidence, not believing in themselves.
Yeah, lack of self-confidence, really, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The lack of it.
Wow. So thank you so much for being on with me tonight, Cynthia. I don't want to hold you. Wow.
So
We are like 40 days away from the Red Ink Conference in Chicago.
I am excited.
Yeah, my friend Maya said the teachers use the sandwich method as well when they give feedback to students. So
very good.
Hoy said he does not.
Good.
Hoy said he doesn't know how to be an author well. Now I don't know what that means. He doesn't know how to be an author well, but he's in the Writers Association, so he can get help.
He's a wonderful author.
He's a really good writer. Yes, I see. Brandy Martin on. She's on as well. She's a person I was about to ask to ghostwrite for me, and I ghostwrite for other people. But that's how well of an author she is. She's a fiction writer. She has 1 book. She's been to the Red Ink Conference when we were in Troy as well. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So great people are on. Tell the people how to reach out to you, Cynthia, besides seeing you at the Red Ink Conference on Saturday, August 17th. If they need to get a hold of you, how do they reach you?
All right. If you would like to reach out to me or Aspiring Writers Association of America just to find out more information, first of all, you can go to our website, www.awaoa.com. That's awaoa.com. Now, if you just want to reach me directly, you can send me an email at iwrite, I-W-R-I-T-E, at awaoa.com.
So I write, not IWRIGHT, but but IWI, because people will spell it wrong.
Let me make it real simple.
Yeah.
Cynthia L. Hatcher.
Now that's
gmail.com.
Cynthia L. Hatcher at gmail.com.
Is that simple? Cynthia L. Hatcher at gmail.com.
Right. All right, Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. For those of you who enjoyed this snippet of what Cynthia will be covering at the Red Ink Conference, you can join us Saturday, August 17th in the great city of Chicago. We'll actually be in a suburb, Oak Brook, Illinois. You can register at theredingconference.com. I'll post.
Yeah.
There's a separate website that I'll post that has a little bit more information and videos. I'll post it in the chat when we are done. And if you don't have anything else, Cynthia, I'm done for the night. You got any closing remarks?
I have one more thing.
Yes.
I have one more thing to say about investing in yourself.
Yes.
The caliber, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying the caliber of women that's going to be at this conference, all of this information at one time, at one place, for the one price you have to pay, it's a steal.
Yes.
It's a steal. Yes. It's almost a giveaway. Invest in yourself.
Yes, I have done my best to keep it as economical as possible, but I've had people tell me you should be charging $500 for this conference, $800. Yeah, and I don't want to take it that high just yet, but I know eventually it will grow to that as we travel around the nation. But for right now, we try to keep it as economical as possible, and the people get food. We feed them a little bit, so.
That makes a difference too. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that makes a difference. So, all right, Cynthia, thank you so much for everything, and you have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.